Guess you're sitting with your left foot over your right now, enjoying the unique wilderness experience brought by Xiaomei. A small cabin by the waterfall, plus a wilderness barbecue. It's like poisoning the night with temptation. Seeking dragons and dividing gold to fix the mountain, Xiaomei arrives at a feng shui treasure land. Cutting a bamboo and sawing it along the joints, splitting the bamboo into strips, weaving them into a cage, and placing it in a bamboo tube. The size is just right. Xiaomei places the woven bamboo cage in the water, putting one in a pond at the top of the mountain. Xiaomei cuts some sticks and carries them to the waterfall, moving a few stones from higher up and throwing them down, filling uneven spots with stones. Placing 2 sticks on the stones, sawing some sticks, and placing them on the laid sticks, a simple platform is completed. Xiaomei carries all the cut sticks over, sitting on the platform for a quick rest. Erecting 2 sticks along the platform, tying a crossbeam, adding another stick on the crossbeam, tying 2 sticks horizontally between the erected sticks, using the Pythagorean theorem to form a triangular frame. Finding some dense, wide leaves, placing them on the frame, a simple, comfortable shelter is built. Xiaomei goes to the river, picks up the bamboo tube from the water and shakes it. It seems there's something inside. Xiaomei takes out the cage and looks at it, instantly showing a happy smile. Taking the bamboo tube to an open space and pouring it out, the contents of the bamboo tube are big and white. Xiaomei grabs one and holds it. The little thing tries to slip away from Xiaomei's hand, quickly grabbing it and putting it back in the tube. Xiaomei goes to another spot, taking the bamboo tube out of the water. It's definitely a big catch. Xiaomei pours out the water from the bamboo tube. Eels slide out with the water. Xiaomei prepares to grab them and put them in the tube, but these little things are too slippery. Xiaomei tries several times, but fails to catch them. This makes Xiaomei really angry, pressing down with both hands and giving them a good beating. After a series of smooth moves, the little things finally surrender. Under Xiaomei's pressure, Xiaomei returns to the shelter, picks up some dry firewood to start a fire. Chopping the caught eels, using a bamboo strip to hold them and roast over the fire. Soon the eels are roasted golden and crispy, sprinkling some secret seasoning. They look glossy and appetizing, whetting the appetite. Mashing a dish of Xiaomei's special dipping sauce, Xiaomei sits by the fire, flipping and roasting the eels. Boiling a pot of longjing tea, dipping the roasted eel meat in Xiaomei's special sauce. A rich aroma of meat fills the entire mouth. Xiaomei, sweating profusely from eating, runs to the waterfall to wash up, lies in the shelter, sipping longjing tea, listening to the heartbeat of nature. Imagine what kind of life this is. Why don't you put down what you're doing and follow Xiaomei to explore the great rivers and mountains, chasing the beauty of this world. Xiaomei carries a basket from the market, walking through narrow trails, arriving at a dense forest. Spotting a wild strawberry plant on the way, just perfect for a quick snack. Xiaomei passes by a farmer's plantation, on a leaf, sees a fluffy little creature. Xiaomei steps forward, grabs the little creature, and wraps it in a leaf. Carefully crossing a single plank bridge, arriving at an open spot, spotting a wild taro plant. Xiaomei digs up the soil, takes out the taro, following the broken roots to continue digging up a few more. Xiaomei puts the wild taro in the basket, continuing the journey. Every few steps, spotting bamboo shoots. Xiaomei lights a lamp, curious like a child along the way, looking here and there with wonder. Xiaomei sees a banana tree and feels a bit thirsty. Chopping down the banana tree and splitting the trunk, digging out a layer of flesh from the trunk, cutting a few leaves and laying them on the ground to sit. The dug-out trunk fills with sap. Xiaomei cuts a hole in the trunk, inserting a leaf stem into the hole, rolling a leaf into a scoop shape. Instantly, the collected sap flows through the leaf into the scoop. Xiaomei quenches their thirst, continuing to roam the mountains. On a small path, seeing wild chestnuts fallen on the ground. This happiness comes too suddenly. Xiaomei can hardly believe it. Quickly picking up the wild chestnuts on the ground, into the basket. Since the chestnuts are too prickly, Xiaomei cuts a stick, making a clip for picking. This makes it much easier, picking chestnuts wherever they go, filling a whole basket. Even catching all the little creatures on nearby leaves, picking up some dry branches on the way and putting them in the basket. On the way down, spotting another taro plant. Xiaomei reluctantly digs it up, putting it in the basket. Passing by a big tree and looking around, deciding to set down the basket and rest here. Clearing the weeds around the big tree, bringing the basket under the tree, taking out the dug-up taro from the basket, finding a water source, washing the taro clean and peeling it, chopping the clean taro into small pieces, placing them on clean leaves. On the way back, encountering a passing crab, Xiaomei decisively catches it. Putting the chopped taro in a pot filled with water, fixing a triangular frame by the fire, placing the pot on the frame. The fire has gone out. Xiaomei rekindles the fire. Erecting 2 sticks around the big tree, cutting a notch on both sides of the tree, taking 2 sticks, fixing one end horizontally to the erected sticks, the other end fitting into the notch. On the 2 fixed sticks, adding a few small sticks, gathering a few wide banana leaves, laying the leaves on the built frame. While busy, the taro in the pot is cooked. Xiaomei takes the pot down and sets it aside, laying the remaining leaves on the damp ground, pouring the taro from the pot onto clean leaves, quickly eating a few bites while it's hot, cleaning the caught little creature in the pot, taking it out, and placing it on leaves. putting the clean pot back on the fire, adding a chunk of lard taken from Grandma's house, waiting for the lard to melt. Xiaomei fries the little creature in the pot. Xiaomei keeps stirring. Moments later, the golden, crispy little creature is ready. Xiaomei places the golden, crispy protein on the leaves with the taro. The wild chestnuts picked during the day, cracked open and roasted over the fire. Xiaomei starts enjoying the prepared food. After finishing the meal, the roasted chestnuts are ready. Xiaomei peels the outer layer to enjoy the delicacy. Full and satisfied, Xiaomei finds a comfortable spot, lying down with the right foot over the left, feeling the tranquility under the starry sky. Yesterday, due to time constraints, Xiaomei only built a simple shelter. Today, rebuilding a new one. Xiaomei clears the weeds around the big tree, clearing debris from the open space, cutting some materials in the dense forest, trimming excess branches. Using a stick, fixing it horizontally between two big trees. Digging a hole in the open space with a stick, erecting a stick in the hole, cutting a notch on the other end of the tree, fixing a stick horizontally in the tree's notch, fixing one end to the erected stick. Placing some sticks on the two horizontal sticks, carrying the prepared sticks to the site, sawing the materials needed, building the materials at the bottom of the frame, creating a small platform. Using materials dismantled yesterday, using sticks to build walls around the frame. The erected sticks, fixed horizontally with a stick. This kind of wall is much sturdier, leaving space for a door and window, for easy access and ventilation. Xiaomei cuts down a few banana trees, gathering the leaves together. Suddenly spotting a wild yam plant, cutting the tangled vines with a machete, digging up the surface soil, instantly pulling out a huge wild yam. Using all their strength to pull out the yam. Xiaomei continues digging the soil. The harvest is quite good, digging up several large ones. Xiaomei carries the banana leaves to the shelter, laying them flat on top of the frame, adding some decorative plants. Xiaomei goes to a fertile soil area, digging up soil and catching a few earthworms, wrapping the earthworms in leaves. Cutting a small bamboo strip, threading the earthworms onto the strip, rolling the threaded bamboo strip into a circle, tying it up. Going to a pond under a large rock, placing the bamboo strip in a rock crevice. Moments later, a little greedy creature takes the bait. The little guy isn't convinced and throws a punch at Xiaomei. Xiaomei screams in pain. Using a gourd move, Xiaomei successfully catches one, going upstream and catching another in a low-lying area. Truly an unbeatable move. Xiaomei hangs the caught crabs on a stick in the shelter, gathering a pile of dry firewood and chopping it small. Washing and peeling the dug-up yams, chopping them small, putting them in the pot. Lighting the firewood, placing the pot on the fire. Stringing the caught crabs on bamboo strips, roasting them over the fire. Soon, the yams are cooked soft and flavorful. Xiaomei eagerly picks up a piece and stuffs it in their mouth. As the sun rises, Xiaomei strides confidently through the forest path, climbing a large rock, feeling the grandeur of the view, of overlooking the mountains. Xiaomei arrives at a vibrant open space, surveying the surroundings, setting down the backpack, clearing the nearby weeds, digging a large pit in the open space, leveling the uneven ground, pounding the ground with a stick to make the soil more compact. Xiaomei cuts some slender sticks, trimming excess leaves, tying them and carrying them to the pit. Gathering some vines, digging holes on both sides of the open space, erecting sticks in the holes, compacting the soil around the sticks. Taking a stick, fixing it horizontally to the erected sticks, measuring and cutting sticks to size, fixing the cut sticks diagonally to the crossbeam. Cutting small sticks to a uniform size, fixing them horizontally to the sticks. Fixing short sticks on both sides, peeling excess bark from the sticks, fixing them along the front of the frame, leaving space for a door. Fixing an arched stick above the door, tying sticks to form a door. Xiaomei tests it, the size is just right. Xiaomei goes to a dense shrub, cutting some vegetation to bring back, gathering clumps of grass with soil. Laying a banana leaf on the frame, placing the grass with soil on the leaf. This creates a natural camouflage. Laying another green leaf on top of the frame, tying the gathered vegetation with vines, binding the vegetation to the frame. The small villa is lush and green. Xiaomei gathers some dry firewood to start a fire, camouflaging the tied door with green leaves, fixing it. Xiaomei finds a tree damaged by pests, cutting it. Using a machete to cut the pest-damaged parts, peeling back the bark, revealing a milky white little creature, trying to escape, but it's too late. Xiaomei continues peeling the trunk, catching another one. Xiaomei puts the caught creatures in their pocket, quite bold, even showing them all from the pocket. On the way back, Xiaomei on the path sees a spot full of wild pomegranates. Xiaomei picks the large ones, bright red pomegranates, washing them in the stream. Moments later, rich in collagen, the roasted essence. Folks, have you eaten such delicacies? Early the next morning, Xiaomei continues the wilderness journey with a backpack, climbing mountains and crossing ridges to a bamboo forest. Too tired to continue, deciding to rest here temporarily. Xiaomei cuts some bamboo for use, trimming excess branches, carrying the bamboo to an open space, sawing the materials needed. Digging several holes in the open space, erecting the cut bamboo in the holes, compacting the soil around them. Cutting a notch at the top of the erected bamboo, fitting 2 bamboo sticks into the notches. Xiaomei gathers some vines, using the vines to tie the bamboo in the notches together. Laying prepared bamboo on the fixed frame, A small platform is built. Taking out a string of pork belly from who knows where, roasting the meat, and adding some dried fish. Soon, the dried fish and pork belly are roasted. Xiaomei places them on leaves, opening a long-treasured portion of white rice, filling the stomach simply. Erecting 2 bamboo sticks crossed beside the platform, tying them together. Erecting a notched bamboo stick at the back, placing a small stick on top. Cutting down a banana tree, gathering a whole leaf and erecting it around the platform, covering it with unwanted bamboo branches. A simple shelter is completed. Xiaomei takes a comfortable nap, waking up and washing in the river to refresh, putting on the backpack and embarking on a new journey. Crossing countless rivers along the way, spotting small shells in the river. Xiaomei stops to pick up shells, collecting many in no time. Xiaomei continues the conquest journey, resting briefly by a large rock, cutting through thorns and brambles along the way, finally finding a feng shui treasure land. Gathering some dry firewood by the river to start a fire, Xiaomei crosses rugged mountain paths, finding a bamboo forest, cutting a bamboo, sawing it along the joints. Filling a bamboo tube with rice, eating bamboo tube rice today. Putting the collected shells in the bamboo tube, adding some water, placing the filled bamboo tube on the fire. Xiaomei keeps adding firewood to make the fire burn stronger. Soon, the food in the bamboo tube is cooked. Xiaomei wraps the bamboo tube with leaves, using a machete to trim off the charred parts. Opening a section of the bamboo tube and pouring the shells out, placing the bamboo tube rice on clean leaves, enjoying a feast. Full and satisfied, Xiaomei continues the journey, finding a large rock. Xiaomei digs up the soil on the rock and crushes it, spreading the soil evenly on the ground, compacting the soil. Cutting short some sticks, driving the short sticks into the ground, erecting 2 sticks, and tying them securely. Thirsty, picking some wild fruits from the mountaintop. Xiaomei goes to the bamboo forest to cut some bamboo, trimming excess branches from the bamboo, sawing the bamboo short along the joints, splitting the short bamboo into strips, laying them on the sticks, and tying them securely, creating a mattress. Lighting the firewood, Xiaomei goes to the stream, spotting a stone crab, quickly grabbing it. Climbing a steep ravine, catching another one. Seeing 2 stone crabs doing something naughty, Xiaomei takes action without hesitation, out of envy. Yes, pure envy. Xiaomei playfully compares hands with the stone crab. Nice size, pretty big. Xiaomei washes the caught stone crabs by the stream, laying 2 green mats on the ground, roasting the caught stone crabs with bamboo strips. Perhaps hungry, drooling while fanning the fire. Sprinkling some secret seasoning, making the wild game more flavorful. For such physical work, you shouldn't do it alone. Folks, don't you want to join Xiaomei? After 81 minutes of careful roasting, the wild game is golden and tender, paired with Xiaomei's special sauce. It's making my mouth water. Folks, why don't you take action and join Xiaomei's wilderness adventure? Where Xiaomei's next stop will be today? Speaking of which, Xiaomei with a backpack leisurely appears on the path. Encountering a few large rocks blocking the way, Xiaomei slips through the gaps in the rocks, like entering the paradise described by Tao Yuanming. Crossing endless mountains, tired Xiaomei sits directly on the ground, feeling the gentle breeze blowing from the mountains. Resting for a moment, Xiaomei arrives under a large rock. The rock juts halfway out from the ground. This is a natural shelter from wind and rain. Xiaomei thinks for a moment and decides to stay here temporarily. Putting down the backpack, digging up the soil under the rock to create more space for movement, spreading the dug-up soil on the uneven ground around, gathering a few stones to encircle the ground, leveling the surroundings. Using a machete to pat down the soil, Xiaomei goes to the dense forest, cutting some sticks and carrying them back. Carrying the cut sticks to the shelter, sweating profusely from carrying, sitting on the sticks to rest, taking a sip of natural spring water. Xiaomei cuts the carried sticks, propping the cut sticks under the rock. Gathering some vines, splitting the vines for use. Using small sticks, tying them horizontally to the sticks supporting the rock. Cutting some wide leaves from the forest grass, tying the leaves to the fixed frame, forming a green canopy. Twisting the remaining vines into a thin rope, cutting a small stick and sharpening 2 ends, setting a trap in an open space. Is this trap set a bit too hastily? Xiaomei goes to another open space, clearing the weeds on the ground, driving some small sticks to form a circle, leaving an opening deliberately. Placing the rope at the opening, putting bait in the circled open space. Is this trap really that simple? Aren't you afraid it'll be a waste of effort? When Xiaomei returns, sees a wild peach tree, instantly turning into a monkey, climbing the tree, picking a few large, round peaches to bring back. Xiaomei checks the trap site, finding nothing. I told you this trap wouldn't work, but you didn't listen. Now look what happened. Xiaomei shakes their head in disappointment and leaves. Arriving at another spot, excitedly rushing forward, hearing a pitiful cry. This sneaky move, I'm impressed. It actually caught something. Guess I was too shallow. Xiaomei happily carries the prey back to the shelter. Sneaking off to the bathroom. Returning, Xiaomei, for some reason, avoids the perfectly good path, choosing to crawl over instead. Truly, extraordinary people do extraordinary things. Ordinary folks can't understand. Xiaomei gathers a pile of dry firewood and adds it to the fire, cleaning the game. Stringing the game on sticks and roasting it over the fire, pulling out some well-burned charcoal, roasting under the fire. Charcoal roasted meat is more delicious. Xiaomei peels and cuts the picked peaches. After 46 minutes of careful roasting, the meat is golden and glossy. Xiaomei eagerly tears off a piece of leg meat, eating it with such relish, it's a sight to behold. Satisfying their appetite, leisurely lying in the shelter, planning tomorrow's routine. Xiaomei crosses endless mountains and vast seas, arriving at a dense forest, seeing a towering tree with tangled roots. Instantly falling in love with this place, clearing the weeds around the tree trunk, gathering some sticks for use. Tying a stick in the middle of the trunk, placing 2 sticks on the tied stick, cutting some materials for building, sawing the excess sticks shorter. Laying the prepared materials on the built frame, between the trees above the platform, tying a small stick. Using the Pythagorean theorem to form a frame, sharpening a few small sticks, carrying a bough and heading toward the forest. Spotting something and bending down to inspect, cautiously moving forward like a cat, crouching, aiming, and shooting. Quickly running over to check, looking left and right, finding only a few feathers. Bending and cutting a small branch, tying a knotted vine to the branch, cutting a stick on another branch, looping the knotted vine back and securing it. Cutting a notch in the stick, inserting feathers, and tying them securely, stabilizing the arrow. Xiaomei tests the bow and arrow with great results, piercing 3 inches into wood. Cutting down a banana tree, carrying the leaves back to the shelter, placing them on the shelter's frame. Gathering dry firewood to start a fire. Xiaomei sets off with the bow and arrow, shooting arrows here and there, unexpectedly startling a wild boar. Xiaomei quickly chases after it. Can this little thing harm the wild boar? Seeing the arrow is useless, quickly chasing after it, but still coming up empty-handed. Xiaomei shoots wildly at a big tree, a blind cat catching a dead mouse, actually shooting down one. Xiaomei quickly runs to retrieve it, checking the trap site. Xiaomei runs over from afar to grab it. You're only good for setting traps like these. Xiaomei cleans the game and roasts it over the fire, picking some wild greens and putting them in a cup. Xiaomei keeps flipping the roasting game. Soon, the game is roasted golden. Xiaomei breaks the game in half, eating it in big bites. Early in the morning, Xiaomei goes to the bamboo forest, brandishing a machete freely. Xiaomei saws the cut bamboo, clearing the weeds around the open space, removing the cleared debris. Cutting holes in the cut bamboo, making notches at the top. Erecting the notched bamboo in the dug holes, compacting the soil around the bamboo with a stick. Passing small bamboo through the holes, sawing off the excess parts. Splitting a bamboo tube into strips, trimming the bamboo joints, setting the trimmed bamboo strips aside. Sawing some small bamboo sticks, smoothing the bamboo sticks, tying them securely to the frame. Laying the bamboo strips on top, tying a few more small bamboo strips on top. Sawing the cut bamboo, splitting into strips. Put a small bamboo stick in the groove and tie 2 more sticks on top to secure it. Xiaomei playfully swings on it, laying the split bamboo strips on the shelter's platform, fastening the bamboo strips on both sides of the frame. Fixing 2 more sticks horizontally on top. Resting for a moment, Xiaomei carries a basket to a stream, spotting a snail on a rock. Picking it up and putting it in the basket, searching here and touching there. Xiaomei goes upstream and picks up more, finding a large one at another spot. Xiaomei shows it off like a child, picking a handful of wild herbs in an open space. Seeing something on the way back, scaring Xiaomei to jump and run, slipping and nearly falling flat. Xiaomei pours out the snails and cleans them, putting the clean snails in a bamboo tube, adding some water, carrying the basket back. Cutting some dry firewood and putting it in the basket, carrying it back to start a fire. Getting sick. Xiaomei places the snail-filled bamboo tube in a pot, making a bowl of seasoning. Probably starving today, Xiaomei can't wait to cook slowly, fanning to increase the fire. Soon, the snails in the bamboo tube are ready. Xiaomei pours out the snails, picking out the meat with a bamboo skewer, dipping it in secret seasoning, wrapping it in a fish mint leaf. That's pure bliss. At dawn, Xiaomei sits here working, splitting short bamboo into strips, trimming the bamboo joints. Resting on the platform when tired, splitting a bamboo into strips, smoothing the bamboo strips. Cutting a door in the frame's bamboo, inserting the smooth bamboo strips into the cut holes. Erecting bamboo strips on both sides of the frame, lighting the fire first. Fixing bamboo strips horizontally on the other side of the frame, leaving space for a window. Feeling hungry, Xiaomei goes to the stream to find food. Spotting a fish breathing in the pond, Xiaomei rushes to grab it, tying it with a leafy vine. Xiaomei reaches under a rock, finding nothing underneath. Xiaomei goes upstream, seeing a fish still dreaming. Xiaomei lifts a rock and smashes it. The poor fish gets caught unaware. Xiaomei takes a small bamboo stick as a tray, fitting a small bamboo strip on it, sharpening a split bamboo strip. Using a bamboo tube to spear into the water, successfully spearing one. Suddenly seeing a fish swimming to a shallow spot, Xiaomei raises the spear and strikes. The small fish flees in fear, but fails to escape the clutches. Xiaomei sees a muddy spot, with a few holes, dropping the spear and reaching inside. Such boldness. Not afraid of grabbing a snake. It seems fate is kind to them. The feared problem didn't happen, catching a bountiful harvest. Xiaomei carries the fish home, cleaning the fish in the pond. Stringing the cleaned fish on sticks for roasting. Xiaomei cuts a few bamboo strips by the fire, weaving a bamboo mat and roasting it on the strips, roasting the remaining small fish on the mat. Flipping the fish on the sticks, Xiaomei cuts down a banana tree, picking the fruits and bringing them back. Xiaomei flips the fish on the bamboo mat. It's a bit hot to the touch. The fish isn't fully cooked. Xiaomei eats a banana to tide over. Soon, the golden, tender roasted fish is ready. Xiaomei tears off a piece and stuffs it in their mouth, completely ignoring their image. Filling the stomach is the priority. Full and satisfied, taking a beauty nap. What a life. Early in the morning, Xiaomei is cutting bamboo in the forest. It rained and got cold last night, so they got up early to work. Carrying the cut bamboo to the shelter's entrance, sawing a few bamboo tubes, splitting the tubes into strips, trimming the bamboo joints. Laying 2 bamboo strips flat on the platform, covering them with split bamboo strips, securing them with bamboo strips. Tying 2 ropes to the frame, hanging the finished window on the frame. Xiaomei opens it to check. The size is just right. Opening the window, propping it with a bamboo stick. Laying split bamboo strips on the threshold. Tying 2 fixed bamboo strips on both sides, leaving space for a door. Splitting 2 more bamboo strips to connect, securing them with bamboo strips top and bottom. A simple bamboo door is completed. Xiaomei lights the fire first, then installs the bamboo door, so it won't be cold tonight. Just after installing the door, a downpour starts. Xiaomei braves the rain to cut a bamboo stick, placing a pot over the fire. Xiaomei runs to the shelter to avoid the rain. The rain stops. Xiaomei roasts yesterday's leftover fish, going to the bamboo forest to pick some green onions. Xiaomei washes the onions by the river, chopping them and putting them in the pot. Cooking the fish in the pot for a while. The roasted fish is ready. The boiled fish is heated. Starting a feast. With a full stomach, sipping hot fish soup, another wonderful night. Wandering around, Xiaomei returns to the towering tree, originally hoping to take a break. But last time, the shelter built was already in ruins. Xiaomei has no choice but to rebuild. First, tying a stick between 2 large trees, then cutting some more sticks, building the sticks on the tied stick, sawing off the excess parts. Tying 2 sticks sequentially above the platform, then erecting sticks on the fixed sticks, tying sticks on both sides. The basic frame of the shelter is complete. Xiaomei gathers some dry firewood to start a fire, fixing another stick above the frame, building the remaining sticks on top. The shelter's roof is finished. Xiaomei takes a machete to find some food. While passing a small path, noticing tracks left by some unknown animal, Xiaomei prepares to set a trap here. First, leveling the surrounding soil, fixing a stick above the path, driving 2 sticks into the ground, and tying them together. Tying a vine to the protruding stick, tying a slip knot on one end of the vine, around the stick driven into the ground, tying another small stick. Tying a small stick to the vine, bending the suspended stick and securing it to another stick. Looping the vine's knot over the stick onto the ground. Xiaomei tests it with the stick. It works perfectly. Xiaomei places some plants around the trap to conceal it, putting a few green leaves on the knot. Using a dried branch to block other paths, leaving only one route. The trap is set. Xiaomei goes to a large tree, noticing vines wrapped around its branches. Xiaomei digs along the vines into the ground, unearthing a yam. What a find by following the vine. Xiaomei brings the yam back to the shelter, roasting it over the fire. Bringing a few large stones to repair the path at the entrance. Xiaomei lays the stones at the entrance, making it easier to walk. Xiaomei takes out the roasted yam, scraping off the charred bits with a machete, filling the stomach simply, saving room for meat tomorrow. Eating messily like a little tabby cat, Xiaomei slowly falls asleep. A mysterious animal's cry in the night wakes Xiaomei from a sweet dream. Xiaomei quickly grabs the nearby machete and holds it close, as if only the machete brings a sense of safety. The next day, the morning sun shines into the shelter. Xiaomei opens their eyes, quickly getting up, lighting the fire first, then taking the machete to check yesterday's trap, unexpectedly catching an unlucky lamb. Xiaomei hurries over, using a stick to pin the lamb's head, tying the lamb's legs, dragging it back to the shelter. Quickly preparing it at the shelter. Xiaomei fixes a stick above the fire, hanging the cleaned lamb meat on it, skewering a piece of lamb on a bamboo strip to roast. After Xiaomei's careful roasting, the golden, glossy lamb is ready. Xiaomei eagerly takes a big bite. Last night's efforts were worth it for today's hearty meal. Xiaomei finds a spot with soft soil, digging up the soil, pouring some water onto the soil, mixing it into mud, bringing the mud to the shelter's entrance, smoothing out the mud. Stacking a pile of stones on the mud, quickly building a fire pit. Xiaomei puts dry firewood in the newly built fire pit, lighting the firewood, digging up a few taros. Xiaomei peels the taros by the pond, cleaning them thoroughly. Finding a banana leaf, baking the leaf over the fire briefly, making it more pliable. Cleaning a solid stone and heating it. Grinding the taro on the stone, kneading the ground taro into shapes, forming taro patties and baking them on the heated stone. Cutting a piece of smoked lamb to roast by the fire. Soon, the lamb is roasted. Xiaomei takes a big bite. The flavor is amazing. The taro patties are also done. Xiaomei bites into a crispy patty. One bite of lamb, one bite of patty. This life is unmatched. Another clear, sunny day. Xiaomei carries a backpack through the mountains, arriving at a bamboo forest, stopping to look around, deciding this is the spot. Putting down the backpack and taking out tools, cutting some materials and trimming excess branches, sawing the cut bamboo, carrying it to an open space, clearing debris from the open space, digging a few holes in the ground, erecting bamboo in the holes, compacting the soil around the bamboo, cutting notches in the prepared bamboo, fitting 2 bamboo poles in the notches, building a few more bamboo poles on top, splitting bamboo tubes and trimming the joints, laying the split bamboo strips on the frame, erecting a few pillars beside the platform, fitting 2 bamboo poles on the pillars, adding 2 more horizontally, sawing a few bamboo poles shorter, splitting the bamboo in half, laying them on the frame, alternating sides. Xiaomei works on the entrance, digging up uneven soil in the open space, leveling the ground, digging 2 holes in the open space, erecting 2 bamboo poles in the holes, fixing a bamboo pole horizontally, sawing bamboo to the right size, laying the cut bamboo on the frame, using leftover bamboo strips to cover the soil at the entrance. Xiaomei goes to the river to find food. Half a day passes with little gain. Will they go hungry today? Xiaomei ties up 2 caught crabs with vines. At a pool of water, Xiaomei splashes water out, splashing it onto a large rock. The water flows back down. Isn't this just wasted effort? After much effort, finally catching a black fish. Xiaomei cleans the fish in the river, gathering a pile of dry firewood to start a fire. Xiaomei cuts a bamboo strip, clamping the fish and roasting it over the fire, weaving a fan from a leaf. How are these hands so skilled? Is there anything you can't do? Xiaomei sits by the fire, leisurely fanning, waiting for the food. The roasted fish is ready in no time. Xiaomei enjoys the meal in the shelter, full and satisfied, leaning against a pillar, enjoying nature's scenery. The next morning, a light rain falls. Xiaomei goes to the river to find food. Right upon arriving, scores a quick catch, climbing up a steep mountain path, catching another in the pond. Xiaomei ties the crabs with vines, searching here and there along the way. The harvest is quite bountiful. Xiaomei returns with the crabs, picking up a stone slab by the river and cleaning it, cutting down a banana tree, splitting the trunk and carrying the core back. Xiaomei gathers a pile of dry firewood, digging 2 holes in the open space at the entrance, placing 2 stones in the holes, laying the clean stone slab on top. Xiaomei checks it. It fits perfectly, placing dry firewood between the stones and lighting it, sawing a bamboo pole along the joints, splitting the sawn bamboo into small strips, inserting the strips into the frame's bamboo, weaving the split strips onto the frame, pouring a bamboo tube of clear water onto the stone, cleaning the stone, placing the stone over the fire. Unexpectedly, the heat causes the stone to crack. Xiaomei doesn't give up, placing the caught crabs on it to roast. The crabs are nearly done in no time. Maybe last time was just a fluke. Just as Xiaomei prepares to pick up the roasted crabs, an accident happens. The stone explodes, even startling Xiaomei. Xiaomei picks up the scattered crabs, placing them on the stone slab. Dry pot crabs with a banana tree core. Have you ever tried such a delicacy? Xiaomei carries the backpack through the dense forest, cutting through thorns and brambles, arriving at a turbulent river. Xiaomei stops and looks around, planning something mischievous. Putting down the backpack, carefully crossing a log bridge, reaching the forest on the other side, cutting some bamboo and dragging it to the shore, trimming the branches and sawing it short, tying a few sticks with vines and hanging them around the neck. Carrying the sticks to the log bridge, Xiaomei places a stick horizontally on their shoulder for balance, carefully reaching the middle of the log, slowly placing the stick horizontally on the log, securing it with vines. Carrying another stick to the log. I admit I'm jealous of this tree. After much effort, the stick is secured. Xiaomei carries some smaller sticks, tying them to the fixed sticks, sawing the cut bamboo, carrying the sawn bamboo to the frame, laying it on the frame without delay. The platform is laid out, adding a bamboo railing on both sides. Finishing the platform, fixing several vertical pillars around the platform. Done. Tying 2 sticks horizontally on the vertical pillars, fixing wooden boards above and below on top. Pillars. Splitting the cut bamboo into strips, trimming the joints and laying them on the frame, inserting the bamboo strips onto the tied sticks, building a boat-like shelter with walls. Digging some soil by the shore, wrapping it in leaves and laying it on the platform, stacking a few stones on the soil. Xiaomei looks for some food, spotting a crab sunbathing, ready to head home. Xiaomei quickly pins it down, tying it with a vine. Catching another in the pond and tying it up. Seeing 2 crabs together in the shallows, Xiaomei grabs a stick and catches them. You're under arrest. Catching 2 more on the way back, tying them to vines on the shore. Xiaomei returns to the shelter with a rich haul, hanging them on a stick, then gathering some dry firewood, placing it on the built stone structure. After a busy day, Xiaomei is sweaty, running to the water to bathe without hesitation. What's wrong with the cameraman? Risking their job? Freshly bathed Xiaomei brings the crabs to the pond, cutting a few bamboo shoots, cleaning the crabs, peeling the bamboo shoots, cooking them in a pot. Tonight, a pot of crab and bamboo shoot stew. Soon, the crab and bamboo shoot feast is ready. Xiaomei eats with a full mouth. Xiaomei's wilderness journey ends these days. Looking glossy and well-fed. Time to head back and plan the next adventure.